Don't chase, attract. What belongs to you will simply find you. Stoicism. Welcome back to Stoic in Your Life. Today, we're diving into a powerful Stoic principle that might just transform the way you approach your desires. Have you ever found yourself relentlessly pursuing something, only to watch it slip further from your grasp? The ancient Stoics, wise beyond their time, knew that the secret to attracting what you seek is not in the chase, but in the art of letting go. Think about this. You're desperately trying to capture a cloud, but the more you reach for it, the further it drifts. However, when you relax and let the wind carry it, it returns to you. This imagery beautifully illustrates the Stoic philosophy that what belongs to you will find its way to you when you stop forcing it. Philosophers like Epictetus and Seneca taught us that true strength lies not in desperate pursuit, but in trusting the natural flow of life. Don't mistake this for passivity. Instead, it's about shifting from a mindset of relentless control to one of serene confidence. When you align yourself with the rhythm of life, you attract what you truly need, effortlessly and naturally. Get ready to explore this profound paradox and discover how detachment can lead to the very things you've been yearning for: abundance, happiness, and success. If this resonates with you, be sure to hit the like button, share this video with others seeking wisdom, and subscribe to Stoic in Your Life. For more deep dives into Stoicism and the art of living well, and if you're feeling inspired, drop a "keep it up" in the comments below. Lesson 1. Do your best, then release. The Stoic way to manifest. He who is everywhere is nowhere. These words from the Stoic philosopher Seneca echo through the ages, urging us to focus on what truly matters while letting go of the rest. If you've ever felt like life is a relentless chase where the more you strive, the more elusive your goals become, then this lesson is for you. We're diving deep into the Stoic art of doing your best and detaching, a practice that can transform not just how you pursue your ambitions, but how you live your life. In today's fast-paced world, the idea of doing your best and then detaching might seem counterintuitive. After all, we're constantly bombarded with messages that tell us to hustle harder, to grind without rest, and to chase our dreams with unyielding determination. But the ancient Stoics understood something crucial that modern society often overlooks. The power of effort lies not in the outcome, but in the process itself. The key to effortless manifestation, as the Stoics would teach us, is to pour our energy into what we can control: our actions, our attitudes, our effort, while letting go of our attachment to the results. This principle isn't about giving up. It's about recognizing that the outcome is not always within our control, but our effort and integrity in the process always are. Consider the words of Epictetus, who said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This quote perfectly encapsulates the essence of Stoic detachment. When we become overly attached to the results of our efforts, we set ourselves up for disappointment, frustration, and even despair. But when we focus on the process, on doing our best with what we have in the moment, we free ourselves from the anxiety of outcomes and embrace a state of calm, purposeful action. This mindset shift is liberating. It allows us to engage fully with the present moment, to give our all to our endeavors, and then to step back and trust that whatever comes next is exactly what is meant to be. To bring this idea into sharper focus, let's reflect on a story from Zen Buddhism that complements Stoic thought. There's a tale of a student who desperately wanted to attain enlightenment. He meditated for hours, studied tirelessly, and sought out every opportunity to deepen his practice. But the more he chased enlightenment, the more it seemed to elude him. Frustrated, he approached his master and asked why he couldn't achieve his goal despite all his effort. The master replied, "It is like trying to catch a feather in the wind. The more you reach out, the further it flies away. But when you sit still and let the wind blow, the feather may come to rest in your hand." This story beautifully illustrates the Stoic principle of detachment. When we stop chasing and start allowing, What we seek often finds its way to us naturally. In our modern lives, this philosophy can be applied to every area, from career aspirations to personal relationships. We live in a culture that glorifies the hustle, that tells us we must relentlessly pursue success to be worthy. But what if we took a step back and trusted that our efforts, combined with patience and a bit of faith, would bring us what we need? By focusing on what we can control, our work ethic, our attitude, our perseverance, and detaching from what we cannot, others' opinions, market conditions, the timing of opportunities, we align ourselves with the natural flow of life. This doesn't mean we stop striving for excellence. Rather, it means we stop obsessing over outcomes and start enjoying the journey. Seneca once said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." This is the heart of the Stoic approach to manifestation. When we detach from the outcome, we are free to experience the joy of the present moment. We become more resilient, more adaptable, and ultimately more fulfilled, because we are no longer slaves to our desires or fears. Instead, we become masters of our own minds, able to navigate life's challenges with grace and ease. As you navigate your own journey, whether you're building a career, nurturing relationships, or pursuing personal growth, remember the Stoic lesson of doing your best and detaching. It's not about giving up on your dreams. It's about shifting your perspective from one of relentless pursuit to one of thoughtful, mindful effort. When you pour your heart into your work and then release your grip on the outcome, you create space for opportunities to flow into your life naturally. You become more aligned with your true purpose, more open to possibilities, and more at peace with whatever unfolds. To put this into practice, start by identifying areas in your life where you may be overly attached to specific outcomes. It could be a project at work, a relationship, or even a personal goal. Ask yourself, am I focusing on what I can control, or am I fixated on the result? Then make a conscious effort to shift your focus. Commit to doing your best. Show up fully, give your all, and then let go. Trust that the universe, in its infinite wisdom, will bring you exactly what you need, when you need it. And as you move forward, keep this Stoic wisdom close. Fate leads the willing and drags along the reluctant. By doing your best and detaching, you align yourself with the path that is meant for you. You become willing, open, and ready to receive the blessings that life has to offer, without the need to chase or force. This is the true art of effortless manifestation, a practice that can bring more peace, fulfillment, and success into your life than you ever imagined. Lesson 2. Attract your desires, the Stoic principle of attraction. Have you ever wondered why the things you desperately want seem to slip away the more you chase after them? It's a paradox many of us struggle with, yet it's at the core of what the Stoics understood so well. The more you chase, the further away your desires can seem. The Stoics believed that by focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, our responses, we naturally align ourselves with the forces of the universe that bring us what we need. Seneca wisely said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." This quote isn't just about being ready when the moment comes. It's about creating the conditions within yourself that allow opportunities to find you. You see, the Stoic law of attraction isn't about sitting back and waiting for good things to happen. It's about cultivating a mindset and an environment where what you desire is drawn to you because you are in harmony with the world around you. But let's break this down into something you can relate to in your everyday life. Think about someone you know who seems to have everything going their way. Perhaps it's a colleague who effortlessly gets promoted, or a friend who seems to find happiness in everything they do. Now, ask yourself, what is it about them that attracts these things? Is it sheer luck, or is there something deeper at play? The truth is, these people have likely mastered the Stoic law of attraction, whether they realize it or not. They focus on what they can control, their effort, their attitude, their presence in the moment, and let go of the need to force outcomes. This doesn't mean they don't work hard. It means they understand that forcing something to happen often creates resistance. Instead, they prepare themselves, they put in the work, and they trust that what's meant for them will come. Let me share a story that illustrates this principle in modern life. A friend of mine, let's call him John, spent years chasing after a particular job. He was determined to land this position because he believed it was the key to his happiness and success. He networked tirelessly, applied multiple times, and even tried to tailor himself to fit what he thought the company wanted. But time and again, the job slipped through his fingers. Frustrated, John finally decided to take a step back. He stopped chasing that specific job and instead focused on improving himself, developing new skills, pursuing his passions, and becoming the best version of himself. A few months later, without even applying, he received an offer for a job that was even better than the one he had been chasing. The company had noticed his growth and reached out to him directly. This is the Stoic law of attraction at work. When John stopped chasing and started becoming, what he truly wanted found him. So, what does this mean for you? It's easy to get caught up in the hustle, in the idea that you must constantly strive and push to get what you want. But the Stoics teach us that true attraction comes from within. When you focus on becoming the person who naturally attracts the things you desire, you'll find that those things come to you with less effort. It's about shifting your mindset from one of desperation to one of confidence and patience. Think about a time when you were pursuing something so intensely that it became all-consuming. How did that make you feel? Did it bring you closer to your goal, or did it push it further away? Now, consider the possibility that by stepping back and focusing on your growth, you could actually bring that goal closer to you. This brings us to a critical question. What can you do today to start attracting what you want without chasing it? The first step is to identify what you can control. You can't control other people's actions, the timing of events, or the outcome of every effort. But you can control how you show up each day, how you respond to challenges, and how you invest in your personal growth. By focusing on these things, you create a magnetic energy that draws opportunities, people, and experiences into your life that align with your goals. Another important aspect of the Stoic law of attraction is to cultivate a sense of gratitude for what you already have. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, reminded us, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." Gratitude isn't just about being thankful. It's about recognizing the abundance already present in your life, which in turn attracts more abundance. When you operate from a place of gratitude, you are more open, more positive, and more likely to attract the things you desire because you're not coming from a place of lack or need. As you move forward, remember that the Stoic law of attraction is not about sitting back and hoping for things to happen. It's about being proactive in your personal growth, being present in the moment and trusting the process. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I need to become to attract the life I want? Then, focus on becoming that person. The opportunities, relationships, and experiences that align with your true self will follow. And when they do, you'll realize that you didn't have to chase them after all. They were waiting for you to be ready. The lesson from the Stoics is clear. Stop chasing and start attracting. Focus on what you can control, invest in your growth, and let go of the need to force outcomes. By doing so, you'll create a life that naturally draws the things you desire. And as you continue on this journey, remember this wisdom from Epictetus. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. It's not about accumulating more. It's about being content with who you are and trusting that what belongs to you will simply find you. So today, take a step back, breathe, and allow the flow of life to bring you what you truly need. Lesson 3. Be uplifted, following the Stoic path of harmony. Harmony is not achieved by avoiding life's challenges, but by facing them with courage, wisdom, and a sense of peace. The third lesson Be Uplifted, following the Stoic path of harmony, invites you to reflect on a fundamental question. How can we navigate life's inevitable ups and downs without losing our sense of inner peace? The Stoics believed that true harmony comes not from the absence of difficulty, but from our ability to rise above it, to maintain our equilibrium no matter what life throws our way. Let's consider for a moment how often we find ourselves thrown off balance by external circumstances, whether it's a challenging situation at work, a disagreement with a loved one, or even the relentless pressures of daily life. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of emotions, to react impulsively, and to let our peace of mind slip away. But the Stoics, with their profound understanding of human nature, offer us a different path, a path of harmony that is rooted in the simple yet powerful idea that we can control our reactions, even when we cannot control the events around us. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote serves as a reminder that the key to living a harmonious life lies within us, in our ability to choose our response to whatever comes our way. Now, you might be wondering, how exactly do we cultivate this inner harmony? The first step, according to the Stoics, is to develop an understanding of what is within our control and what is not. This distinction is crucial because it frees us from the futile effort of trying to change things that are beyond our influence. Instead, we can focus our energy on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, and our attitudes. Imagine a sailor navigating a stormy sea. He cannot control the wind or the waves, but he can control how he steers his ship. In the same way, you can't always control the challenges that come your way, but you can control how you respond to them. And it is this response that determines whether you remain in harmony with yourself and the world around you. But achieving harmony isn't just about reacting wisely to challenges, it's also about cultivating a mindset of acceptance. Epictetus, another influential Stoic philosopher, advised, "Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will. Then your life will flow well." This doesn't mean resigning yourself to whatever happens without trying to improve your circumstances. Instead, it's about accepting reality as it is, rather than fighting against it. When you accept things as they are, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering and open yourself up to finding solutions that are aligned with the reality of the situation. Acceptance doesn't mean passivity. It means approaching life's challenges with a calm and open mind, ready to take constructive action. Let me share a story that illustrates this concept in a modern context. A woman named Sarah had always dreamed of starting her own business. She spent years planning, saving, and preparing for the perfect moment to launch. But just as she was about to take the leap, an unexpected health issue arose, throwing all her plans into disarray. Faced with this challenge, Sarah had two choices. She could either let her frustration and disappointment consume her, or she could accept her situation and find a way to move forward. Choosing the Stoic path of harmony, she decided to adapt. She adjusted her business plans, focusing on what she could do given her new circumstances, rather than lamenting what she couldn't. This shift in perspective not only allowed her to launch her business successfully, but also brought her a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment, because she was no longer fighting against her reality. She was working with it. This brings us to an important question. How can you apply the Stoic principle of harmony in your own life? Think about a situation you're currently facing that feels overwhelming or frustrating. Ask yourself, what aspects of this situation are within your control? How can you change your response to align more closely with the reality you're facing, rather than resisting it? By taking this approach, you'll find that even the most challenging situations can become manageable, and you'll be able to maintain your inner peace regardless of external circumstances. Harmony, according to the Stoics, is not just about individual peace of mind. It's also about how we interact with others and with the world at large. Seneca, another pillar of Stoic thought, wrote, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." This quote emphasizes that living in harmony means recognizing our interconnectedness with others and approaching our relationships with compassion and understanding. When we practice kindness, we not only uplift those around us but also create a ripple effect of positive energy that enhances our own sense of well-being. So, as you go about your day, consider how your actions and words impact those around you. Are you contributing to a harmonious environment, or are you allowing discord to take root? By choosing kindness and understanding, you actively contribute to the harmony of the world, which in turn reinforces your own inner peace. The Stoic path of harmony is about much more than just staying calm in the face of adversity. It's about living in alignment with the natural flow of life, accepting what you cannot change, and focusing your energy on what you can. It's about cultivating a mindset of peace and resilience where you are not swayed by external events but remain grounded in your values and principles. And perhaps most importantly, it's about recognizing that harmony is something you create within yourself and extend to the world around you. As you continue on your journey, remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By nurturing thoughts of peace, acceptance, and kindness, you set the foundation for a life that is truly harmonious. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the Stoic path of harmony. If you found value in these lessons, I encourage you to share it with others who might benefit from these timeless teachings. And as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What challenges are you facing, and how can the Stoic principles help you find harmony in those situations? Let's continue this conversation now. Lesson 4. Understanding your desires. A Stoic inquiry. The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. These powerful words from Marcus Aurelius perfectly set the stage for our coming discussion. Have you ever found yourself caught in the relentless pursuit of something, be it success, recognition, or even love, only to realize that the closer you seem to get, the more elusive it becomes? This common experience is not just frustrating, it's a profound lesson in understanding the nature of our desires. We'll explore how the Stoics approach desires and how their timeless wisdom can help you lead a more balanced, fulfilled life by focusing on what truly matters. The Stoics, known for their clear-headed approach to life, believed that unchecked desires were one of the primary sources of human suffering. They argued that when we chase after external things, wealth, power, status, we often become enslaved by them. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, famously stated, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This quote highlights the essence of Stoic thought. True wealth and happiness come not from accumulating more, but from desiring less. The more we desire things outside our control, the more we hand over our peace of mind to forces beyond our influence. The key, then, is not to suppress our desires entirely, but to understand them, to examine their origins, and to determine whether they serve our true nature or distract us from it. Consider for a moment the modern pursuit of success. In today's world, many of us are conditioned to believe that success is measured by external achievements, promotions, accolades, financial gain. But if we chase these markers of success without understanding our deeper motivations, we may find ourselves on a never-ending treadmill of desire, where satisfaction is always just out of reach. The Stoics would advise us to pause and reflect. What is it that we truly desire? Is it the external validation, or is it the internal sense of accomplishment and purpose? By examining our desires, we can discern whether they are leading us towards genuine fulfillment or merely keeping us trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction. To illustrate this point, let me share a story that resonates with many in the modern age. A man, let's call him Tom, had always dreamed of climbing the corporate ladder. He worked tirelessly, often sacrificing time with family and friends, convinced that the next promotion would finally bring him happiness. But each promotion, instead of bringing satisfaction, only fueled a new desire for the next one. It wasn't until he reached the upper echelons of his company, feeling more stressed and unfulfilled than ever, that he began to question his desires. Was this relentless pursuit really what he wanted? Or had he been chasing an illusion? This moment of introspection led Tom to redefine his idea of success, not as a series of external achievements, but as living a life aligned with his values and passions. By understanding his true desires, he was able to step off the treadmill and find peace in his work and life. This story brings us to a critical question. How can you begin to understand your desires more deeply? The first step is to practice self-reflection, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics encouraged regular reflection on one's thoughts, actions, and motivations. By taking time each day to reflect on your desires, why you want what you want, and whether these desires align with your true self, you can begin to separate the fleeting from the meaningful. This practice isn't about judging yourself harshly for having desires, but about gaining clarity on which ones are worth pursuing and which are distractions. As Seneca wisely noted, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. Understanding your desires means recognizing when enough is enough and appreciating what you already have. Another important aspect of understanding your desires is learning to distinguish between what is within your control and what is not. The Stoics believe that much of our suffering comes from trying to control the uncontrollable, other people's opinions, external events, the outcomes of our efforts. Instead, they taught that we should focus on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, our responses. When you desire something that is within your control, such as personal growth or the cultivation of virtues like wisdom and courage, you are more likely to achieve a sense of satisfaction because these are desires that can be fulfilled through your own efforts. On the other hand, when you fixate on desires that depend on external factors, like fame or wealth, you set yourself up for disappointment because these are ultimately beyond your control. In modern life, this Stoic approach to desires can be incredibly liberating. It frees you from the constant pressure to achieve more, to accumulate more, to be more in the eyes of others. Instead, it invites you to focus on being more in alignment with your true self. For instance, rather than chasing the next promotion just because it's expected of you, you might focus on how your work aligns with your values, how it contributes to your growth as a person, and how it serves the greater good. This shift in perspective doesn't mean abandoning ambition. It means aligning your ambitions with what genuinely matters to you. As you do this, you may find that the things you desire begin to come to you more naturally, without the need for relentless chasing. This is the essence of the Stoic wisdom. When you understand your desires and align them with your true nature, you attract what truly belongs to you. So, I leave you with this thought. What are your desires truly telling you about yourself? Are they leading you toward fulfillment or away from it? By taking the time to reflect on these questions, you can begin to align your life with the principles of Stoic wisdom, finding peace and satisfaction in what you already have, while still striving for the things that genuinely matter. Remember the words of Epictetus: "He who is not content with what he has would not be content with what he would like to have." Contentment and understanding go hand in hand, and by cultivating both, you set the foundation for a life of true harmony and fulfillment. Lesson 5. Harness imagination, the Stoic method of creation. Imagination, properly harnessed, is a powerful tool for creation, said Marcus Aurelius, a statement that rings just as true today as it did in ancient times. You might wonder how the Stoics, known for their focus on logic and reason, viewed imagination, a concept that often seems more aligned with creativity than with Stoicism. Yet the Stoics understood that imagination, when guided by wisdom and purpose, is not only beneficial but essential to creating the life you want. So, how do you harness your imagination effectively? And how does this relate to the Stoic principle of not chasing, but attracting what belongs to you? Let's begin by understanding that the Stoics did not dismiss imagination. They saw it as a mental tool that could shape reality, provided it was used correctly. Imagination allows you to visualize possibilities, foresee challenges, and devise solutions. However, unlike mere daydreaming, the Stoic method of imagination is rooted in clarity and purpose. It is about envisioning the life you want to live, not as a fantasy, but as a blueprint for action. Seneca wisely noted, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This quote reminds us that while imagination can be a powerful force for good, it can also create unnecessary fears and anxieties if left unchecked. The Stoics believed that by guiding your imagination with reason and virtue, you can create a path that leads to fulfillment, rather than one that traps you in endless worry or ungrounded dreams. Consider how this plays out in modern life. Imagine you're an entrepreneur with a vision for a new business. Your imagination is buzzing with ideas, new products, marketing strategies, growth potential. But without a clear and focused application, this imagination can become overwhelming, even paralyzing. The Stoic approach would advise you to channel this imaginative energy into practical steps. Start by visualizing not just the end goal, but the process itself. What challenges might you face? How will you overcome them? What principles will guide your decisions? By harnessing your imagination in this structured way, you not only create a realistic path forward, but also attract the resources, people, and opportunities that align with your vision. It's not about chasing after every possibility. It's about setting a clear direction and allowing your imagination to guide you steadily toward it. Now let's connect this to a story that many of us can relate to. There's a man, let's call him Dave, who always dreamed of being an artist. For years he worked a regular job, telling himself that one day, when he had more time or money, he would start painting again. He imagined the beautiful pieces he would create, the exhibitions he would hold, but he never took action. His imagination, instead of propelling him forward, kept him trapped in a cycle of longing without fulfillment. One day, inspired by a Stoic text, he decided to change his approach. Instead of imagining the distant future, he began to imagine what he could do today, how he could carve out even 30 minutes to paint, how he could share his work online, how he could improve his technique bit by bit. This shift in focus transformed his life. Dave didn't just dream of being an artist, he became one. By harnessing his imagination with a Stoic mindset, he attracted the opportunities that eventually led him to exhibit his work professionally. He didn't chase after the dream. He lived it, step by step, by grounding his imagination in action. This brings us to a crucial question. How are you using your imagination? Is it helping you build the life you want? Or is it holding you back with unrealistic expectations or unnecessary fears? The Stoics would encourage you to reflect on how you can use your imagination not as a source of anxiety, but as a tool for thoughtful creation. Picture the life you want, not as a distant fantasy, but as a series of achievable steps that align with your values and abilities. By doing so, you turn your imagination into a powerful ally, one that helps you attract the circumstances and people that will help you grow. The connection between imagination and attraction is profound. When you imagine with clarity and purpose, you naturally begin to attract what aligns with that vision. This isn't about magical thinking, it's about the power of focus. What you focus on, you start to see more of in your life. If your imagination is focused on problems, you'll notice more obstacles. But if it's focused on solutions, opportunities, and the steps you can take today, you'll start to attract the resources and support that move you forward. The Stoics understood this, which is why they emphasized the importance of aligning imagination with action. As Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. As you move forward, remember that your imagination is a tool, one that can be honed and directed to create the life you truly desire. Don't let it wander aimlessly, pulling you in 100 different directions. Instead, harness it with the discipline of a Stoic. Let it guide you toward your goals, but also let it be grounded in reality, in the steps you can take today to make those goals a reality. In doing so, you'll find that you don't need to chase after your dreams. By living intentionally, guided by a clear and focused imagination, you'll attract what is meant for you, naturally and effortlessly. So, What's the lesson here? Use your imagination wisely. Let it be a tool for creation, not a source of distraction. Align your dreams with practical steps and let the process unfold. And most importantly, trust that what belongs to you will find you when you are ready for it. Thank you for joining me. If this lesson resonated with you, please like and share it with those who might benefit. I'd love to hear how you're using your imagination to create the life you want. Share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, the power to create lies not in chasing after what you desire, but in becoming the person who naturally attracts it. Lesson 6. Find peace. Surrender to the divine flow. He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe, said Marcus Aurelius, and these words serve as a powerful reminder of the inner peace we all seek in our lives. In a world where we are often encouraged to hustle, control, and manipulate outcomes, the idea of surrendering to a greater flow might seem counterintuitive, even weak. Yet the Stoics taught us that true strength comes not from resisting the natural course of life, but from aligning ourselves with it, from understanding that there is a divine order to things, a flow that we can either fight against or surrender to. Let's start by examining what it means to find peace through surrender. To many, the concept of surrender might sound like giving up, but in the Stoic sense, it's about recognizing and accepting the limits of our control. The Stoics believed that while we can and should take purposeful actions, there are aspects of life, like the outcome of those actions, the behavior of others, or the forces of nature, that are beyond our control. By surrendering to this understanding, we are not giving up on our goals or desires, but rather we are freeing ourselves from the anxiety and frustration that come from trying to control the uncontrollable. As Epictetus wisely said, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." This is the essence of surrender in Stoicism, doing our best in every situation and then letting go, trusting that the universe will unfold as it should. But how does this concept of surrender play out in modern life? Let's consider a common scenario. Imagine you've been working tirelessly on a project at work. You've planned every detail, anticipated every challenge, and given it your all. Yet despite your best efforts, things start going wrong. Unexpected problems arise, colleagues don't meet deadlines, or perhaps a key decision is taken out of your hands. It's easy to feel frustrated, to want to push harder, or try to force a solution. But the Stoic approach would be to step back and ask yourself, what is within my control here? What can I realistically influence? By focusing on these questions, you shift from a mindset of resistance to one of acceptance. You continue to do your best, but you also acknowledge that there are factors you cannot change. This doesn't mean you stop caring or trying. It means you surrender to the flow of events, trusting that whatever happens next is part of a larger order, even if you can't see it yet. This principle can be applied not just in work, but in all areas of life: relationships, health, personal growth. Take, for example, a story of a man, let's call him Michael, who was dealing with a difficult breakup. He had tried everything to save the relationship, from communicating openly to making personal sacrifices. But in the end, his partner decided to leave. Michael was devastated and felt a deep sense of loss and failure. Initially, he tried to control the situation, to win his partner back, but nothing worked. It wasn't until he came across Stoic teachings that he began to find peace. He realized that while he could control his actions, he couldn't control the choices of others. By surrendering to this truth, Michael was able to let go of the past, heal, and eventually move forward. He found peace not in winning back what he had lost, but in accepting that everything had happened as it was meant to, and that this experience was an opportunity for personal growth. So how can you apply this lesson of surrendering to the divine flow in your own life? Start by reflecting on the areas where you feel the most stress or frustration. Are you trying to control something that is ultimately beyond your power? Are you resisting the natural course of events because it doesn't align with your expectations or desires? The Stoics would encourage you to practice acceptance, to do what you can with what you have, and then to let go of the outcome. Ask yourself, what would happen if I surrendered to the flow of life in this situation? How would it feel to trust that whatever happens next is part of a greater plan, even if I don't fully understand it? By embracing this mindset, you open yourself up to a deeper sense of peace and alignment with the world around you. It's important to remember that surrendering doesn't mean becoming passive or indifferent. On the contrary, it means engaging with life fully, but with the wisdom to know when to let go. As you practice this, you'll find that surrendering often leads to better outcomes, as it allows you to adapt to changing circumstances and to respond with clarity and purpose, rather than with panic or force. This is the divine flow the Stoics spoke of, a natural rhythm of life that we can either struggle against or move with. In conclusion, finding peace through surrender is one of the most powerful lessons Stoicism offers. It teaches us that while we are responsible for our actions, we are not responsible for everything that happens as a result. By accepting this, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and align ourselves with the natural order of the universe. Marcus Aurelius put it beautifully when he said, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." This is the essence of surrender, living fully, loving deeply, and trusting completely in the flow of life. As you move forward, I encourage you to practice this surrender in your daily life. Reflect on where you can let go of control and trust more in the process. By doing so, you'll find that peace is not something you chase after, but something that comes to you naturally when you are aligned with the divine flow of the universe. Lesson 7. Choose Joy, the Stoic Guide to Manifesting Happiness. Our world nowadays are constantly bombarded with messages that equate happiness with external success, wealth, status, possessions. It's easy to forget that true joy is not something we chase after, but something we cultivate within ourselves. The Stoics, with their deep understanding of the human condition, teach us that happiness is a choice, a practice, and a state of mind that we can manifest by focusing on what truly matters. Let's begin by understanding the Stoic perspective on happiness. Unlike the fleeting pleasures that come from external sources, the Stoics believed that true joy is rooted in virtue and wisdom. It's about living in accordance with nature, aligning your actions with your values, and maintaining a sense of tranquility regardless of external circumstances. Epictetus, a renowned Stoic philosopher, famously said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This quote captures the essence of Stoic happiness. It's not about avoiding difficulties or seeking constant pleasure, but about cultivating a mindset that remains peaceful and joyful no matter what life throws your way. But how do we apply this concept of choosing joy in our daily lives? In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of more money, more recognition, more possessions. We often tell ourselves that once we achieve a certain milestone, then we'll be happy. However, the Stoics would challenge us to rethink this approach. They would ask us to consider whether these external achievements truly lead to lasting joy, or whether they merely create a temporary sense of satisfaction that quickly fades. The Stoic approach to happiness encourages us to shift our focus from external to internal, from what we can acquire to who we can become. By choosing to cultivate virtues like gratitude, patience, and wisdom, we lay the foundation for a happiness that is resilient and enduring. To bring this idea to life, let me share a story that illustrates the power of choosing joy in modern life. There's a man named Robert who, like many, spent years climbing the corporate ladder. He believed that with each promotion, he would become happier and more fulfilled. But as he reached higher levels of success, he found that the satisfaction was always short-lived. No matter how much he achieved, there was always another goal, another rung on the ladder, and with it came more stress and less joy. It wasn't until Robert encountered Stoic teachings that he began to understand the true source of happiness. He started to focus on what he could control, his attitude, his reactions, and his mindset, rather than on the external accolades he had been chasing. He practiced gratitude for the present moment, found joy in simple things like spending time with loved ones, and began to appreciate the journey rather than just the destination. This shift in perspective didn't just make Robert happier, it transformed his entire approach to life. He realized that joy was not something he needed to find. It was something he could choose, every day, in every situation. This leads us to a crucial question. How can you choose joy in your own life? The first step is to recognize that happiness is not a destination, but a way of being. It's about making a conscious decision to focus on the positive aspects of your life, to appreciate what you have, rather than fixating on what you lack. The Stoics would advise you to practice gratitude daily, to take time each day to reflect on the things that bring you joy, no matter how small. As Seneca wisely said, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. By grounding yourself in the present moment and appreciating the simple pleasures of life, you can cultivate a sense of joy that is independent of external circumstances. Another key aspect of choosing joy is developing resilience in the face of adversity. Life is full of challenges, and it's easy to let setbacks steal your joy. But the Stoics teach us that we have the power to choose our response to these challenges. Instead of viewing difficulties as obstacles to happiness, we can see them as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. By embracing this mindset, you can maintain your inner peace and joy even when life doesn't go according to plan. As Marcus Aurelius put it, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This quote reminds us that the very challenges we face can be the catalysts for our greatest growth and, ultimately, our deepest joy. In modern life, where we are often overwhelmed by the pursuit of material success, the Stoic approach to happiness offers a refreshing alternative. It invites us to slow down, to focus on what truly matters, and to recognize that joy is not something to be found outside of ourselves, but something to be cultivated within. By practicing gratitude, embracing challenges, and living in accordance with our values, we can create a life that is not only successful by external standards, but truly fulfilling on a deeper level. So, what's the takeaway from today's lesson? Choosing joy is not about denying the difficulties of life or ignoring the challenges we face. It's about recognizing that happiness is a choice, one that we make every day through our thoughts, our actions, and our attitudes. It's about understanding that true joy comes from within, from living a life that is aligned with our values and rooted in gratitude and wisdom. As you move forward, I encourage you to practice this mindset of choosing joy, to focus on the positive aspects of your life, and to approach each day with a sense of gratitude and purpose. By doing so, you'll find that happiness is not something you need to chase after. It's something that will naturally flow into your life as you align yourself with the principles of Stoic wisdom. If you've made it this far, you're embracing the power of calm and wisdom. Drop a comment saying, "I attract what belongs to me," to show you're committed to this Stoic path. Stick around, the journey to true peace and fulfillment is just beginning. In a world that constantly pulls us in 1,000 different directions, the idea of creating an inner sanctuary, a place of peace and stability within ourselves, might seem like a distant dream. Yet, it is precisely this inner calm that the Stoics believed was essential for manifesting true abundance in life. Let's consider what it means to build an inner sanctuary. The Stoics taught that true peace and abundance come from within, not from external possessions or achievements. This inner sanctuary is a mental and emotional space where you can retreat to find calm, clarity, and strength, no matter what's happening in the outside world. It's about developing a mindset that is not easily swayed by external events, a place within you that remains untouched by the chaos of life. Epictetus once said, No man is free who is not master of himself. This quote emphasizes that freedom and peace come from self-mastery, from the ability to control your thoughts, emotions, and reactions. When you master yourself, you create a sanctuary within that no external force can disturb. But how do you begin to build this inner sanctuary? The first step is to cultivate mindfulness and awareness of your thoughts and emotions. In our busy lives, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle, to let stress and anxiety take over. However, by taking time each day to reflect, to meditate, or simply to breathe deeply and reconnect with yourself, you begin to lay the foundation for your inner sanctuary. This is not about escaping from the world, but about creating a space where you can process life's challenges with calm and wisdom. Consider the story of John, a man who was constantly stressed by his demanding job. He was successful by all external measures, but inside, he felt overwhelmed and disconnected. After encountering Stoic teachings, John started practicing daily mindfulness. He began each day with a few minutes of meditation, where he focused on his breath and cleared his mind. Over time, he noticed that this simple practice gave him a sense of control and peace that he hadn't experienced before. No longer reactive to every crisis at work, John found that he could approach problems with a clear head and a calm heart. His inner sanctuary became his greatest asset, allowing him to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. This leads us to a critical question. How can you apply these principles to your own life? Building an inner sanctuary is not about isolating yourself from the world, but about finding peace within it. Start by identifying the areas in your life that cause you the most stress. Does it work? Relationships? Personal expectations? Then, think about how you can create a space, mentally and physically, where you can retreat, even if just for a few moments each day. This could be a quiet corner in your home, a park bench where you sit and reflect, or simply a mental practice you carry with you. By making this a regular part of your routine, you strengthen your ability to stay grounded and centered, no matter what life throws your way. And as you do this, you'll find that you're not only more peaceful, but also more capable of manifesting the abundance you seek. The concept of abundance, from a Stoic perspective, is not about accumulating wealth or material goods, but about living a life that is rich in meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. It's about recognizing that true abundance comes from within, from your ability to live according to your values, and to find joy in the simple things. Seneca wisely noted, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This quote reminds us that abundance is a state of mind, not a state of material possession. By cultivating your inner sanctuary, you unlock the ability to manifest a life that is abundant in the ways that truly matter, through relationships, personal growth, and a sense of purpose. As you build your inner sanctuary, you'll notice that it naturally attracts the things you need. When you are centered and at peace, you are better able to recognize opportunities, to make decisions that align with your true self, and to connect with others in meaningful ways. This is the essence of peaceful manifestation, allowing abundance to flow into your life not through force or struggle, but through alignment with your inner values and a calm, clear mind. The Stoics believed that when you live in harmony with nature and your true self, the universe responds by bringing you what you need. It's not about chasing after success or happiness. It's about becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts these things by the way you live. So, what's the takeaway from today's lesson? Building your inner sanctuary is essential for unlocking true abundance in life. It's about creating a space within yourself where you can find peace and clarity, no matter what's happening in the world around you. By cultivating mindfulness, focusing on what truly matters, and living in accordance with your values, you not only find peace, but also manifest a life that is rich in the ways that truly count. As you move forward, I encourage you to start building your inner sanctuary today. Take time each day to reflect, to breathe, and to reconnect with yourself. By doing so, you'll find that peace and abundance are not things you need to chase after. They are things that will naturally find you when you are aligned with your true self. The path to true peace, abundance, and happiness is not something external that you need to chase after. It's something you cultivate within yourself. The Stoics understood that by building an inner sanctuary, a space of calm and clarity within your mind and heart, you create the foundation for everything else in your life to flourish. This sanctuary is not about escaping from the world, but about finding peace within it, about remaining steady and grounded regardless of the chaos that may surround you. Think about your life right now. Where do you feel the most tension, the most anxiety? Is it at work, where deadlines and expectations seem to crush your spirit? Is it in your personal relationships, where misunderstandings and conflicts often arise? Or perhaps it's within yourself, a constant battle between who you are and who you think you should be. These are the areas where the Stoic practice of building an inner sanctuary can have the most profound impact. By creating a mental and emotional space where you can retreat, even for just a few moments each day, you empower yourself to handle life's challenges with grace and resilience. This sanctuary isn't a physical place. It's a state of mind that you carry with you, a place where you can find calm amidst the storm. So how do you begin this process of building your inner sanctuary? The first step is to cultivate mindfulness. This means becoming more aware of your thoughts, emotions, and reactions. In our fast-paced lives, it's easy to get swept away by stress and anxiety. But the Stoics teach us that we can control our reactions, even if we can't control the events around us. Start by setting aside a few minutes each day to meditate or simply to breathe deeply and reflect. This small practice can make a huge difference. Over time, you'll notice that you're less reactive to the stresses of life, more able to approach problems with a clear head, and more at peace with yourself and the world. Let's connect this idea to a modern story that illustrates the power of an inner sanctuary. Take John, for example, a man who was constantly stressed by the demands of his job. On the outside, he was successful, climbing the corporate ladder, respected by his peers, but inside he felt overwhelmed and disconnected. After discovering Stoic teachings, John started practicing mindfulness daily. He didn't make any drastic changes in his life, but he did start his mornings differently. Instead of diving straight into work, he spent 10 minutes in quiet reflection, focusing on his breath and clearing his mind. This simple routine became his anchor. Over time, John found that he was no longer as reactive to crises at work. He could approach challenges with a sense of calm and purpose. His inner sanctuary became his greatest asset, a source of strength that allowed him to navigate the demands of his job without losing his peace of mind. This brings us to an essential question. How can you apply these principles to your own life? Start by identifying the areas where you feel the most stress. Is it work, where expectations constantly weigh on you? Is it in your relationships, where you struggle to find common ground? Or is it within yourself, where self-doubt and fear often take hold? Once you've identified these areas, think about how you can create a space, both mentally and physically, where you can retreat to reflect, breathe, and reconnect with yourself. This might be a quiet corner in your home, a peaceful spot in nature, or simply a mental practice that you carry with you wherever you go. By making this a regular part of your routine, you strengthen your ability to remain grounded, centered, and at peace no matter what life throws your way. As you build this inner sanctuary, you'll find that it naturally leads to greater abundance in your life. The Stoic concept of abundance isn't about accumulating more wealth or possessions. It's about living a life that is rich in meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. It's about recognizing that true abundance comes from within, from your ability to live according to your values and to find joy in the simple things. As Seneca wisely noted, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. This quote serves as a powerful reminder that abundance is a state of mind, not a state of material possession. By cultivating your inner sanctuary, you unlock the ability to manifest a life that is abundant in the ways that truly matter, through deep relationships, personal growth, and a sense of purpose that guides your actions. As we reach the conclusion of our journey today, I want to leave you with some actionable insights and encouragement to truly integrate these Stoic principles into your daily life. When you are centered and at peace, you are better able to recognize opportunities, make decisions that align with your true self, and connect with others in meaningful ways. This is the essence of peaceful manifestation, allowing abundance to flow into your life, not through force or struggle, but through alignment with your inner values and a calm, clear mind. The Stoics believe that when you live in harmony with nature and your true self, the universe responds by bringing you what you need. It's not about chasing after success or happiness. It's about becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts these things by the way you live. So, what's the takeaway from today's lesson? Building your inner sanctuary is not just a way to find peace. It's a powerful tool for unlocking true abundance in life. By creating a space within yourself where you can find clarity, calm, and strength, you equip yourself to handle whatever life throws your way with grace and wisdom. As you move forward, I encourage you to start building your inner sanctuary today. Take time each day to reflect, to breathe, and to reconnect with yourself. By doing so, you'll find that peace and abundance are not things you need to chase after. They are things that will naturally find you when you are aligned with your true self. Thank you for being part of this journey on Stoic in Your Life. If today's lesson resonated with you, I encourage you to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into living a life of peace, purpose, and fulfillment. And now, I'd love to hear from you. How are you building your inner sanctuary? What steps are you taking to create a life of true abundance? Share your thoughts in the comments below and let's continue this conversation. Remember, the journey toward peace and abundance starts within. Until next time, stay grounded, stay wise, and keep cultivating your inner sanctuary.